So contrast all of that with the way she talks about H and their relationship. Here is it. Is it 46 or 47, Lauren? You choose.
January 2026. Meghan Markle has just celebrated what she claims was her 44th birthday. The internet is flooded with the usual PR machine, the perfectly curated cake photos, the sweet messages from celebrity friends, the headlines praising her youthful glow and her ageless beauty. But while the world celebrates the number 44, a massive, dark question mark hangs over the festivities in Montecito. Here is what nobody in the mainstream media is brave enough to talk about. What if the birthday everyone celebrated wasn't actually her real birthday? What if the age Meghan has been claiming for years is a complete fabrication? We aren't talking about a simple clerical error. We aren't talking about a misunderstanding. We are talking about a deliberate, calculated lie that might have started decades ago in the ruthlessly competitive audition rooms of Los Angeles. There is compelling evidence floating around the investigative corners of the internet that suggests Meghan might not have been born in 1981 as her Wikipedia page claims. Some sources, including childhood timelines that mathematically cannot add up, point to a birth year of 1977. That is a 4-year difference. 4 years she might be hiding from the public. 4 years she might have hidden from the royal family. And here is the kicker. Her own father, Thomas Markle, her estranged sister Samantha, and her childhood friends might hold the keys to the truth. But nobody has been paying attention to the math. So, buckle up tight, because what you are about to hear could mean Meghan has been living a lie since before she ever set foot in Kensington Palace. If the 1977 theory is true, then the entire foundation of the Meghan Markle character is built on a cracked timeline. Let's start with the most obvious question. Why would Meghan Markle, a beautiful, talented woman, lie about 4 years? What is the point? To understand the motive, you have to understand the brutal, unforgiving machinery of Hollywood in the early 2000s. Think about what happens to actresses when they hit a certain age. It is an open secret that the industry has an expiration date. In the era before streaming, if you hadn't made it by 30, you were finished. The leading lady roles disappeared. The phone stopped ringing. You were relegated to playing the mom or the aunt. Meghan was trying to make it as an actress for years before she landed Suits. She was struggling. She was auditioning constantly. She was a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal, standing in heels for hours, smiling at contestants. She was driving a beat-up car with the doors welded shut. She was desperate. If Meghan was actually born in 1977 instead of 1981, that means when she finally landed her big break on Suits in 2011, she would have been 34, not 30. That sounds small to a normal person, but in Hollywood terms, it is the difference between fresh face and past prime. Casting directors look at a 30-year-old as an investment. They look at a 34-year-old as a risk. Shaving off 4 years wasn't about vanity. It was about survival. It was a business decision. It kept her in the 18 to 29 demographic bracket for just a little longer. It allowed her to compete for roles against younger women like Olivia Wilde or Priyanka Chopra. And once that lie is told on a casting sheet, once it is written on an IMDb profile, it has to be maintained forever. You cannot untell a lie that got you the job. Critics will say, this is a conspiracy theory. Nobody lies about their age anymore. Wrong. It happens constantly. Look at Rebel Wilson. The Pitch Perfect star famously claimed to be 29 when she was actually 36. She did it because her agents told her she wouldn't get cast in high school comedy roles if producers knew her real age. When the truth came out, she was sued by magazines, she lost credibility, and it became a massive scandal. Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, all have faced accusations or confirmed instances of age shading. It is industry standard. The difference is Rebel Wilson didn't marry into the British monarchy. When you become a royal, your history becomes a matter of historical record. Your biography is placed in the archives of Windsor Castle. If Meghan carried a Hollywood lie into the House of Windsor, she committed fraud against an institution that relies on lineage, truth, and succession. She didn't just lie to a casting director, she lied to the Queen. Here is where the story moves from speculation to forensic evidence. We need to talk about Joshua Silverstein.
Attraction to each other. And, we're 13, 14-year-olds, so the history's kind of from there. It's like we talk, we find out that we're both of the same racial makeup. We just decided it was a good idea to become boyfriend and girlfriend. Meghan, as a 13-year-old, was very kind, very sweet.
Joshua is a childhood friend of Meghan's. He is an actor, a beatboxer, and a public figure. He has given interviews about dating Meghan when they were kids. He told a very specific, very cute story to the press about how they were at a theater summer camp in Santa Monica together. He said they were both 13 years old when they shared their first kiss. It sounds innocent. It sounds like a sweet memory. But here is the problem with the math. Joshua Silverstein's birth year is documented publicly. He was born in 1977. If Joshua was 13 at that camp, the year was 1990. If Meghan was also 13 in 1990, as Joshua claims, that means she was born in 1977. Now, let's plug in Meghan's official birth year of 1981. If she was born in 1981, then in 1990, she would have been 9 years old. You cannot have a 13-year-old boy dating a 9-year-old girl at a theater camp. The developmental gap is massive. A 13-year-old teenager does not date a 9-year-old fourth grader. The math is impossible. So we are left with two options. Joshua Silverstein is lying about a harmless childhood memory for absolutely no reason. Meghan Markle has been lying about her birth year for her entire adult life. And why would Joshua lie? He has nothing to gain. He wasn't trying to take her down. He was just telling a story. He accidentally exposed a massive inconsistency that nobody can explain away. This is the smoking gun. It is the math that breaks the spell. Let's go deeper into the timeline. Let's look at her education. Meghan attended Immaculate Heart High School in Los Angeles. The official story is that she graduated in 1999. If she was born in late 1981, she would have turned 18 later that year. That fits the standard timeline. But internet sleuths have been digging into the yearbooks. There are photos of Meghan from school events in the early 90s where she appears significantly older and taller than the official timeline suggests. There is video footage circulating from a school production in 1993. If she was born in 1981, she would be 11 or 12 years old, 6th or 7th grade. In the footage, she looks like a fully developed teenager, potentially 15 or 16. If she was born in 1977, she would have been 16 in 1993. That visual evidence aligns much better with the 1977 theory. Furthermore, there are rumors of classmates who remember her being in older grades. There are whispers of a graduation year that was closer to 1,995 than 1,999. Where are these classmates? Why haven't they spoken out? Perhaps some have, and they've been silenced by NDAs or fear of the Sussex legal team. But the visual evidence of her middle school years looking like high school years is hard to ignore. Now, let's look at the family witnesses. Samantha Markle. Samantha is Meghan's estranged half-sister. She has been a thorn in Meghan's side for years. Samantha was born on the 24th of November, 1964. That is a confirmed fact. She is currently 61 years old as of January 2026. The official story says there is a 17-year age gap between Samantha and Meghan, but reports online and legal filings have allegedly referenced a 13-year age gap. If Samantha is 13 years older than Meghan, that places Meghan's birth year in 1977. Samantha was there when Meghan was brought home from the hospital. She grew up in the same house. She knows the timeline better than anyone. If Samantha has ever contradicted the official story, even accidentally in legal papers or interviews, that is absolutely huge. And given how much bad blood exists between them, Samantha has no reason to protect Meghan's secret. In fact, Samantha has frequently alluded to Meghan's lies and manipulation of the truth. The fact that this specific discrepancy keeps popping up suggests that the official narrative might have been rewritten to fit the Hollywood timeline, and Samantha refuses to play along. Then there is Thomas Markle. Thomas and Meghan haven't spoken since 2018. He is bitter, he is angry, and he has given countless interviews. But reports surface constantly suggesting that Thomas has made statements that don't line up with the 9081 date. Why would a father get his own daughter's birth year wrong? He wouldn't, unless the narrative changed. Unless he was told at some point during her Hollywood struggle, "Dad, for the press, I'm 24, not 28. If anyone asks, stick to the script." Parents often play along with their children's career, lies to help them succeed. They think it's harmless. Oh, it's just for her acting career. But now that they are estranged, Thomas is a loose cannon. His confusion or his refusal to stick to the script carries weight. He is the one person who cannot be gaslit about when his daughter was born. He held the birth certificate. If he is slipping up on the dates, it's because the truth is fighting to come out. This brings us to the most uncomfortable question of all, Prince Harry. When they met in 2016, Meghan claimed to be 35 years old. Harry was 32. It was a standard age gap, 3 years. Nobody blinked. It felt like a partnership of peers. But if the 9077 theory is true, she was actually 39, pushing 40. That changes the dynamic completely. A 32-year-old prince dating a nearly 40-year-old divorcee brings a different set of questions. The biological clock panic. If she was 39, the rush to get married and have children makes infinitely more sense. The urgency wasn't just love, it was biology. The power dynamic. A 40-year-old woman has significantly more life experience, more manipulation tactics, and more worldliness than a 32-year-old man who has been sheltered in a palace his whole life. It shifts the relationship from partners to leader and follower. Did Meghan tell him the truth, or did she keep the lie going? Harry might genuinely believe she was born in 1981. Why would he question it? He saw the passport, which can be reissued. He saw the Wikipedia page. But imagine if the truth came out. Imagine if he found out that the woman he married, the woman he went to war with his family for, started their relationship with a fundamental deception. That is a betrayal of trust that goes deeper than just a number. It means the meet cute was staged on a foundation of lies. It means he didn't know who he was proposing to. Getting pregnant naturally at 41 and 43 is certainly possible, but it is statistically much harder and comes with higher risks than at 37 and 39. This might explain the secrecy surrounding the births, the doctors, and the hospitals. If she was actually in her 40s, the term geriatric pregnancy, a medical term, not an insult, would apply heavily. It would explain why there was such a rush to secure the heir and the spare immediately after the wedding. She knew her window was closing much faster than the public realized. This adds a layer of desperation to her actions in 2018 and 2019. She wasn't just securing a husband, she was racing against her own biology to secure a royal link that could never be broken. Why do people believe this theory? It's not just about the math, it's about credibility. If this was the only question mark over Meghan's life, people might dismiss it. But it isn't. This fits into a pattern of behavior that has defined her public life. She has a history of rewriting reality to suit her needs. She told Oprah, "We got married 3 days before the wedding in the backyard." The Archbishop of Canterbury had to come out and publicly say, "No, that's not true." The legal wedding was the one on TV. She lied about a legal fact. She claimed she didn't know who Harry was and knew nothing about the royals. Yet, old photos show her posing outside Buckingham Palace as a teenager, looking longingly at the gates. She claimed the palace took her passport and keys. Yet, records show she took 13 international leisure flights during that period. When you add the age lie to this list, it fits perfectly. It is consistent with someone who creates whatever narrative works best for them in the moment. If she lied about the wedding, if she lied about the photos, why wouldn't she lie about 4 years to save her acting career? To Meghan, the truth is malleable. It is whatever she says it is. Critics will scream, but the California Birth Index lists the 4th of August, 1981. It's an official record. You can't fake that. Let me tell you something about official records in the digital age. They can be amended. If there is an error, you can petition to fix it. If you have enough resources, lawyers, and connections, paper trails can be managed. But more likely, the official record we see online is the result of a coordinated cleanup. When someone enters the royal family, the men in gray suits scrub their history. They clean up the internet, they seal records. It is entirely possible that the 1981 date is what is currently on file, but that it was amended or verified based on documents Meghan provided later in life. Or perhaps the 1981 Meghan Markle listed in the index is a different person, and the records have been conflated. It sounds wild, but in the world of espionage and high-stakes identity management, stranger things have happened. But we don't even need a conspiracy about the birth certificate to doubt the story. We just need the Joshua Silverstein math. You cannot argue with the fact that a 9-year-old girl was not dating a 13-year-old boy. That single piece of evidence destroys the 1981 narrative, regardless of what a piece of paper says. Here is the smoking gun, not a document, but a behavior. If I were accused of lying about my age and I had proof I was innocent, I would shut it down immediately. I would post a photo of my 10th birthday party with the date 1987 clearly written on the back. I would show a school report card from 1988 proving I was in 2nd grade. I would release a statement with a birth certificate attached. I would mock the conspiracy theorists and prove them wrong in 5 seconds. Meghan Markle has done none of that. She has stayed completely, totally silent on the age rumors. She lets the rumors swirl. She lets people do the math on Joshua Silverstein. She lets the 1977 truthers build their case. And that silence is exactly what keeps the fire burning. Why? Because silence is the only option when you cannot prove the lie is false. If she releases a document and internet sleuths prove it's doctored, she is done. If she addresses it, she pours gasoline on the fire and draws more attention to it. So instead, she hides behind the shield of dignified silence and hopes it holds. But the questions aren't going away. The math still doesn't add up. And as long as she refuses to explain how she was 13 at the same time as a boy born in 1977, the world will keep asking the same dangerous question. Who is the real Meghan Markle? Is she the 44-year-old victim of a cruel press machine? Or is she the 48-year-old mastermind who duped a prince, duped the public, and is quietly laughing at everyone who bought the story? The internet never forgets. The timeline never lies. And the truth about Meghan Markle's age may be the loose thread that unravels the entire sweater. Happy birthday, Meghan. Whichever one it really is.